Okay, talking about this agreement, you know, signing of agreements. Yes, Nigeria, for instance, has signed over 550, you know, agreements from the national level to bilateral and, of course, multilateral level. That's ECOWAS, EU, and the WTO. Of course,
so on and so forth.
And yes,
Students
Nigeria
are signing agreements in Nigeria. People just travel out of this country and sign agreement. The National Assembly is not even aware of some of these things. Go to Foreign Affairs, go to Trade, go to the Chamber of Commerce and all that. You see all sorts of agreements signed on behalf of Nigeria. I'll give you one example. Do we have a national carrier? All right. Prior to independence, we have West African Line. Ghana got independence in 1957 and came up with Black Star Line. Nigeria came up with NNSC, Nigeria National Shipping Line. Where are those airlines? Where are those shipping lines? Don't we have agreement of 40-40-20? 40% of the consignment of goods leaving Nigeria must be carried by a Nigerian vessel. Do we have a national carrier? The answer is no. We do have a national fleet. National fleet that will all come together and buy one single vessel. 40% of what is coming into Nigeria, 20% for order. Do you have a vessel carrying Nigerian flag? So what we have in Nigeria are shipping agents, not shipping companies. So if you now look at Nigerian Airways, vis-a-vis South African Airways, Ethiopia Airline and all that, these are countries that can compete with European countries like Belgium. The coastline of Belgium is only 140 kilometers, which is equidistant with that of Benin. How many vessels do we have in Belgium? More than 150. We are not even talking of Netherlands. The center of transshipment and all that. The head of EEC, now EU, is in Belgium. So when you are talking of agreement coming together, integration and all that, you must know what you have on your hand. So it's not just going about signing an agreement to be importers representative. If these agreements are working, why do you have Chinatown and you don't have Nigerian towns outside?
Now, still talking about ECOWAS, Nigeria happens to be one of the founding members. That was in 1975. Now, and Nigeria, of course, with over 65%
population,
of
resources
population,
and everything,
it seems Nigeria has very little, you know, to show for all the efforts. Kind of, isn't this a cause for worry?
It's a cause for internal worry. You don't blame external enemies on your local problems. In 1980, contribution of manufacturing sector to GDP was 10%. Today it's less than 4%. Last week I read from a friend saying that gold exported from Nigeria was only 12%. So what do we have? We are number one producer of yam. We are number one producer of cassava. We are number one producer of millet, shea butter, and so on and so forth. What value are we having? What value chain have we developed? What linkages have we? Is it just going to attend meetings? The area of produce is all over. In the past, by 1900, Nigeria was contributing 50% of the total palm oil requirement. By 1960, we were contributing 27%. Today, we are contributing 1% and consuming 4%. So don't you see there's a deficit? Then we sign an agreement under ECOWAS or trade liberalization, common external tariff. We are now importing the same palm oil from Malaysia through neighboring countries. So when you now say that Nigeria is not getting ABCD in ECOWAS, what do we have on the table? You go to the local market. 80% of what you see in the market, even food stuff, is imported. Is that the situation in Uganda and other places? Do we have, we can import fish from Senegal, but are we doing that? That's what we call local, that's what we call local perspective. That's what we call comparative advantage, absolute advantages. With all the advantages we have in the area of manpower, in the area of resources, what have we added to contribute and make ECOWAS a captive market?
All right, Mr. Semede. Now, in all of these that you've talked about, how can these problems be tackled?
The problem now is that we should go back to basis. There is what we call local perspective. What do we have that Ghanaians does not have? And if we are now talking of what we have and all that, do we even have the means to move from A to B? Lagos to Cotonou is 100 kilometers. Lagos to Lome is 250 kilometers. Lagos to Accra is 240 kilometers. You talk of roadblocks. You talk of checkpoints. You talk of differences. You sign agreement of free movement of goods and services. How accessible? So these are some of the things we should tell ourselves the truth. If we want to trade, remove all these barriers. What of the exchange? We are the least developed sub-region in the world. For instance, in West Africa, with the 10 different currencies, we have about 10 different exchange rates. If you are doing business with a Beninois, go to the bank and establish ASC. It's reluctant because you have the bank rates, you have the West Africa clearing rates, of which I can sell to a Ghanaian in Naira. He pays CD and I get Naira here. But Ghanaian CD had depreciated by 700% within 10 years. He will not agree to establish SC. You have the drivers, the ECOWAS transporters rate, you have the border rate, you have the Grand Marché rate, and so on and so forth. So is that a sub-region? Is it a free trade area? Is it a continental free trade area? Is it a preferential trade area? Is it a custom union? It's just an association. We still need to work. The National Assembly has a very big assignment on their hand. Some of these agreements will be domesticated and see how we can apply and use our resources and get out of recession.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Semide, for sharing your thoughts on this. Well, the AGM will be ending today. Let's hope that they come up with better policies to make things
policies
work.
to involve the entire chain.
I've been speaking to Mr. John Semide, a trade expert and former Director General of the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture.